just wanted to say thank you so much, Byron, for coming on today, and we appreciate you taking the time to be with us.
Hey man, appreciate you, man, having me on.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, how's it been going? You've been busy, huh?
Oh man, it's been a busy week. Um, Getting ready to close my first loan since joining the team, which is awesome. Good feeling. This is closing it with a veteran man who's he just retired, U.S. Air Force, and we had some snags going on with it, man, because the appraisal didn't come back right, and but I was able to go ahead and interject and fight with the VA to get that value up. So. The listing agent was playing a little bit of games, but we finally got this thing squared off, taken care of. He's signing docs, and we will get this thing closed tomorrow. So a really, really good feeling, man. It kind of, when you get that first one, it kind of lets you know, how passionate you are about doing this thing here, man. So definitely was definitely a good feeling, man, to help this guy out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's got to be. It feels really good to get the first one under the belt. But that's what I was going to bring up here in a little bit. Is so we heard through the grapevine there was a lot of just challenges, right? And you just said that, like appraisals and things like that. So I mean, just for anybody that's listening, our whole goal that we try to work at on our team anyway, that we work together on, our whole goal is to just educate. We lead with education. We try to teach people how this process works, and we want everybody to know that this is kind of something that we do all the time. So uh, walk us through that. So you had a veteran just retired,
Mhm.
right? And you said
Mhm.
he was Air Force.
U.S. Air Force, yes.
So where was he moving to? Like what part of the country?
He was coming from Ohio, and he's moving to Florida.
Oh,
So
look at that guy. He's going from the cold to the sun. So
cold
he's
to the sun.
going to Florida. And so he found a house, put an offer on the house, and then
Hmm.
the appraisal came back, meaning for anybody that doesn't understand or know, or even if you do know, but an appraisal is where after your inspections happen and after like your option periods and you're just really waiting to close, what happens is the lender will request an appraisal where someone goes out and that's where they're going to give you, this is how much we think your house is worth based off the neighborhood, the market, and all of that. So that's what came in low, right? It came in under what it should have been.
Oh, it came in real low. Now, you know, I felt, and the buyer's agent, who was also a veteran, felt that the house was overpriced.
Hmm.
Um, Here's the beauty of the thing, man, about doing what we do. And I have a tagline that I use is I serve those who serve, serving those who serve, man.
Hmm.
So my thing is every client that I get, I want to go 100% and go to bat for them. So when this appraisal came in, and I had to actually look at the appraisal, found that one of the comps on the appraisal was from a year ago. So I looked in the area of where that house was and actually found a comp that sold recently and was much higher.
Hmm.
So submitting that back to the VA, that's where we end up going from 37,000 under the list price to getting it 8 grand under the list price, which that was able to make the deal get done.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So what you're saying
yeah.
is, so just to unpack and go back. So initially, when the
Hmm.
client went into the home, when they went to purchase, initially, you guys felt that it was overpriced then as well when he made the offer, or um, when it came in, you thought it was not as over as what they made it seem, right? Like you thought it was close, and they came in and said it was way under. Is that fair to say, or was it the opposite?
I thought it was close. I thought the house was overpriced, but I didn't think it was that
Oh,
undervalued.
okay, so you
I
thought
mean,
it was going to come in either right where it needed to be or very, very close. And
that's
so
what
when it
I
came in
actually
at 38 under, you were like, "What just
wait a minute, yeah,
happened?"
because it's a pretty. It was one of the biggest houses on a here you got this 5 bedroom, 3 bathroom, almost 3,000 square foot house, and the comps that they're using are 3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms that were anywhere from 600 to 700 square feet smaller. So it was kind of hard to comp out, man. But I was like, wait a minute, 351 on a house this big, in this area, no. But I was able to dig deep. And the point that I was trying to make is, man, is that when we go and we go to bat for our people and go to bat and really dig deep. It took me some time. I actually, when you and I were together in Oklahoma, that was actually what I was doing,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah, for
finally,
sure. I remember you were making the phone calls and trying to figure out what was going on.
yes, yes, and I actually was able to go ahead and find. But that was just coming from the experience, man. The thing is, for me, as being a young and new loan officer, man, and having your first deal be this one of this magnitude, man, where you really got to put in some work, man. It was really a good learning experience.
Yeah.
So I was very happy to actually go through it. At the end of the day, man, our client and both realtors on both sides are very, very happy with the work that we done.
Well, that's
You
what I was
know,
just going to bring up. I was going to say not just did you go to bat for our veteran, right? Because that's how if I look at it, that's our veteran. We're helping them. We want to make
yes.
sure that they get what they've earned and what it is that they think is best for their family. But whoever that listing agent is should
Mhm.
probably send you a gift basket
It's funny.
because for the simple fact that not only did I mean it could have been easy, right? It could have been, listen, this is what they said, and that's all we're taking. So you're either going to take that or you're going to leave it. And so the listing agent, like obviously the listing agent in this scenario did a good job, right? Because they were close.
Mm,
And it
yeah,
just goes to show everybody that's going to listen to this today. Listen, you, we can say what we want about in any of that process, but it's all done by humans. And so what happens sometimes is people miss something, something doesn't get looked at, and and I think the most overwhelming thing is what you did through the whole process. And what I do know is that you made sure that you talked to everybody the entire way. And so that is what saved everything. It just made it to where everybody knew what was going on. You let them know
yeah.
where we were at, and you were like, listen, just let's take the time. So I think not the fact that we were able to get the value up, because obviously the agent that was representing the veteran that we were working for also felt like that house was not, you know, that far
Mhm.
under value, which is why we went and did it. But I mean, you know, just the simple fact that we would do that. Like not every time that happens. And I don't want everybody to understand the process to go back and see if we can get someone to reconsider something is not something that you're going to do every day. It's
No,
just
it's
not.
not.
It's a difficult process because,
And
you know,
you're not going to win that all the time either.
yeah.
We when we did it, a lot of the people that were working with our team was under the impression that we're probably going to get maybe 10, maybe 15,000 at the most added. The fact that I got the 380, was the and obviously Sam and everybody was coming to me saying, "Great job, Byron." But I look at it as a team effort, man. But and for us to come back and get that value, it really as a new team of what we're trying to accomplish and where we're trying to put ourselves and how we're trying to brand ourselves really made us look good.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
that was my thing is two things is number one, making sure that this veteran is taken care of. He's staying in a hotel and he was just worried. And so I wanted to put every effort into making sure that we can get him into his home so he doesn't have to continue, man, to have his trailer parked outside of a hotel and he can go ahead and get into his home. The number one.
Yeah.
Number two, man, as far as our team and what we're trying to accomplish and the mission that we have going on, I want every active duty, every veteran to know that they're looking to go ahead and use their VA home loan, knowing that they got a team here that has their back that's going to go ahead and work 100% hard for them to make sure that they're taken care of, man.
No,
It's
yeah.
not about what I'm trying to get for myself or build myself as a loan officer. Hey, I take this, man, just like I did when I was in Navy recruiting, man. I worked very hard. Everybody that I worked with, man, was someone that I was changing a life. So I take that same effort, that same sense of service, man, and I put it into this work here.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, if you think about it too, we don't need to grow a brand. We're already the brand, right? Like
You
we're
already,
already veterans of
mhm.
whatever branch of service, right? Either we're a veteran or the people on our teams. Uh, spouse was a veteran or, something like that. So we all know what it takes. I think the biggest thing that helps is as we go around and we're talking to people. We went to an American Legion event the other day.
Hmm.
We went to Oklahoma about a month ago with the VFW.
Hmm.
I know that someone from our team is at another VFW event, and then just talking to realtors in general. The biggest thing is that everybody just has the misconception that it's extremely difficult to work with someone that's doing, a VA loan. I mean, I had the same deal come down today, right? So I have a client that is trying to purchase in Maryland,
Hmm.
and the client reached out, and I've been asking him for a couple of days, like, do we know what's going on with the offer? I know you've submitted it, like, where are we at? And so the client came back and said, hey, the listing agent and the seller is really concerned with the VA inspections. And I was like, okay. So I called the client and I said, hey, what's going on? Uh, Tell me how I can help. So he was like, they just said that they're concerned with inspections and what the VA inspection is going to be. So I was like, okay. So the first thing I was thinking, what'd you think I thought?
No, you tell me. Yeah.
Appraisal. I thought they were
Appraisal.
worried about the appraisal. Okay. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. I tell you what, give me the listing agent's number. So I called the listing agent. I left a message, and then I also sent a text message to the listing agent. Like not even 5 minutes after I called the listing agent, our buyer's
Hmm.
agent called me
Wow.
and said, "Hey, I just talked to the listing agent, and they decided to go with another offer." Well, what was interesting about this one is they went with another offer, even though it wasn't as financially appealing to the seller.
Hmm.
And then come to find out, talking to our agents, which I'm telling you right now, our team works with some of the greatest agents in the
Yeah.
country. If anyone's looking for an agent when they come to us, we're going to put you with somebody that does it right and has the same care for the veteran that we do. Like, I mean,
Good.
and she
Good.
said, like, I was going to be really worried because they they did a non-disclosure on the house, like, which means like in where I'm at in Texas, that's a seller's disclosure. I'm not really sure what they call it in California as far as like disclosing items on the home. They just call it a seller's disclosure in Texas, and normally that's what
Mhm.
it's called in real estate.
It's pretty much the same
But
thing
they
in
didn't
California.
do a disclosure. They did what she called a disclaimer, which I think is saying like, "Hey, like we know we didn't do this form or something." And so when she was
Hmm.
talking to the listing agent, it became apparent that they just didn't do it. So credit to that real estate agent was like it was a huge red flag for me, like not knowing that. And so I guess my point to that is because so many people think that this is such a hard thing to do, they
Hmm.
shy away from it. But what I really hope that agents that listen to this or consumers that listen to this,
Yeah, absolutely.
or anyone that listens to it, it is not a hard product to do. The difficulty in this product comes in how professionals in the industry treat it. Like either you overprice the home and you know it. Of course, you're going to be afraid of a VA appraisal. You don't want the VA appraiser to come tell you that it's not worth that much because the VA is going to protect the veteran and they're going to tell the veteran it's not worth that much money. So we're not giving you that much. But here's a news flash. If you have a conventional home or an FHA home, they're going to do the same thing. If it's not worth that much, they're going to tell you it's not worth that much. And in an FA, a VA, or a conventional, if you want to purchase that home still, you got to pay the difference. There's no difference in a VA loan as there is to the others. And then the other part of it too is I just always wonder, like when you talk to some realtors and like, oh, the VA inspections are out of control and it's crazy that they do the inspections on them. The thing that gets me is, so what you're saying is if they say that the roof is unsafe or they don't feel like something in the home is safe to be habitable for a family, and you find out that you had to live with that, if you were purchasing the home, would you want it not fixed or would you be like, oh, I don't care? So it's like
You know,
they're trying to take care of you, right? And all it means is they're just going a little bit of an extra step to take care of it. But the reality, again, FHA comes back with lender required, underwriter required, or whatever required fixes that need to be done. Conventional and
exactly.
appraisers come back with the same thing. If there's an
And
item on a home that is detrimental to it, or it makes it unsafe or makes it inhabitable, they're going to require you to fix it. Like there's no, it doesn't happen as often on in a conventional or an FHA, which I got it, but we're talking about veterans that serve the country to protect and give everybody the freedom they have. So it's okay that we're going to go the extra mile to make sure they're taken care of. Right. So,
So, I was in Dublin, California, man. I was having dinner with another real estate agent, real good friend of mine, and we got into a conversation about inspections and appraisals. And I was just telling David the other night, man, that the appraiser on this deal that I'm closing, I actually had a conversation with, and just what I didn't even want to ask about why did you come to this. I simply wanted to ask. I said, if this house was a conventional or FHA, if you were doing the appraisal, I said, would you have done it any different? You know what the appraiser said? No,
exactly. Well, here's the deal: the appraiser is licensed to appraise homes, not licensed to do VA appraisals. Now, the deal
absolutely.
that people need to understand is that appraiser that goes out to do a VA appraisal is an appraiser that more often than not has the experience level and the track record proven that they do a great job and that they're like highly sought after, like they are professionals in the industry. It is very hard to get certified to be a VA appraiser.
Yeah.
They're the best of the best. When you think
Mhm.
about it, like they have to really look to do that. They're not going to look at a home and go, "Oh, this is a VA loan. Let's make this hard." They're looking at
That's
the
what
home.
looking at the home.
Yeah,
And the thing is that's what any appraiser is gonna do. Now we gotta talk. We started talking about the termite inspection because in California, man, the termite inspection. Now, this is one of the misconceptions is that the seller has to pay for it. Not in California, no, and pretty much not anywhere. But
mm-mm.
a previous deal that I did in California, the buyer paid for the inspection.
Yep.
Now, what was required by the VA is that if there was any damage coming from the termite inspection, the seller had to pay for it and fix it in order, whether they paid for it or fixed it themselves, however, then it had to be re-inspected in order to get that clearance.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right.
Same way in Texas. Like the buyer can
Yep.
pay for the inspection, but the seller has to do the treatment.
Now, there's a difference between termite and home inspection. If you do a home inspection, there's a socket missing, something like that. Now, you can do requests for repairs. That is negotiable. The misconception, I'm speaking to this agent, and truly, man, truly, um, this person is kind of misinformed. That's why I was there. We were talking. I was like, we are not going to require someone to fix something that's outside of the termite. That's negotiable. You're thinking that when the inspection comes, that they got to fix everything. No, that's not the issue, and that is reason why.
So he was
And I
saying, so just to make sure I'm following you down the street. So he was saying the agent you were talking to said that if it was a VA loan, anything that came out on any inspection they had to fix.
absolutely,
What?
yeah, that is what's going on. This is why VA offers are being turned away.
Because they think they have to fix everything on there and not just, yeah, so that's the deal. That's crazy. You know what? I never even really thought about it that way. I never thought that maybe the agent thinks because they have to fix like the termite part of it that maybe I never thought about them thinking they had to fix all of it. And so now talking to you today, again, just so that anybody that's listening to this today understands what we do on our team, that's a little bit I'm not going to say it's different. I know other people do it. But for every agent that I've talked to that I've started to work with since I've come to the VA team at Mutual of Omaha, letting real estate agents know when you go to put an offer on a home, send me the listing agent's number. This is me. Send me the
Yes,
listing agent's number. I know you do the same thing, Byron. I will call the listing agent and I'm going to advocate for our buyer.
yeah,
Any good loan officer is going to do that,
we'll do that. Yes.
especially in the market we're in right now. So I'm going to let
Mhm.
you know that we've checked everything. Their credit's good. Their finances are good. The assets are good. They should not have any issue
They're ready to
closing.
close.
I am giving you the boom. It's the stamp. We're good to go. But the other part now that I'm going to add is, do you have any questions about the process for VA? Because
Yes,
maybe you're right. Maybe these agents think that they got to fix it all. And maybe we just need to do something as small as go, just so you know, the only required fix that you have to do in a deal would be the termite. Now, unless the home is in a rural property and it's got a well and the water it needs to be treated, things like that. But in a normal 85-90% of the transactions that we're going to look at and do are going to be single family homes and neighborhoods. They're going to be public water, all that stuff. Termite inspection, got to check it. Now, what makes sense to what you just said is I've had a lot of agents, because when I did real estate, that I would submit an offer and they would go, "Oh my God, I just don't know about this VA thing." And so I would always ask as an agent, like, "What do you mean about the VA thing? Like, what's the difference?" So they were like, uh, "There's just a lot of costs for the seller." And I used to always tell them, and now I think the difference though is, right? I would tell them, like, the only cost that's going to come out is one, if the home is overpriced and and we're not close on value, then yes, we can walk away from it.
that's right.
But newsflash, real estate agents, I know in Texas you can walk away from an FHA deal from the third party financing form if it's not right. And there's also an addendum in Texas you can put in to say, hey, on this conventional loan deal, if this home doesn't appraise at the price we offered, we can walk away. So it doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
what loan program you're doing. VA is no different than any others. But then the other part that the agent would tell me is I would tell them the only thing that you're going to be required to pay for in this deal that comes out is if the home has termites, you're going to have to pay to treat it. That's it.
But if you have a conventional buyer,
Mm-hmm.
and if the home has termites, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
You're going to want
but
to have.
remember, in a conventional loan and an FHA loan, those inspections aren't required. However, I
Why?
work with a lot of real estate agents because we're in Texas. They do it anyway.
That's
They
what I'm
do the
saying.
extra inspection, and so
Right.
again, to your point, if they do a conventional loan and it's got a termite problem, they're going to ask you to fix it.
You're going to
Oh, and
want to
by the
fix
way,
it.
they
Yeah.
can walk away during the option period if you don't. There's no difference, man. It's ridiculous.
I mean, if I'm representing a buyer, a conventional buyer, and we going in escrow, I want a termite.
Well, I
Here's
think
the thing.
isn't, but now let's go where the difference in states isn't, because you're more familiar with California than I am. Isn't it required for every transaction in California?
Yes,
Like you
yes,
have to do that on every transaction.
you have to.
Doesn't matter whether it's FHA, conventional, or VA. You have to do it.
You have to do
Yeah.
termite.
So that's an
All right,
option
that
in
has to be
Texas. It's
done
an option.
because yeah, because you got to have that. You got to have that disclosure sent.
Yeah.
All right, as far as termites, so it is required.
Mhm.
Home inspection is not required, but it is advised. So
Oh
there's
yeah,
a
yeah,
form.
yeah, yeah. Home
Then
inspections are that's the same way for everybody. But what I meant is
yeah,
like in California where you got to do it for all of them. In Texas,
mm-hmm,
FHA conventional, it's an option to do a termite. You don't have to do
option
it.
to do it.
And it's
Yeah,
also the same deal of this. If the house is leaning to the left, I'm probably going to have a foundation inspection done.
you have a foundation. Yes.
Unless the house is made to lean to the left because the hill is going up on the right so that it makes it straight, right? Like if it
Mm-hmm.
looks wrong, then it's probably wrong. And you know what I really wish that we could get to, and the thing that's, I don't know, and then we can move on from this part of it. But the thing that kills me, and I want your opinion on it before we move on, why real estate agents think that they can, we're professionals, and mortgage lenders, we're professionals. We're looking out for the best part of our client. You as a listing
That's
agent or a buyer's agent, when you go see these homes, and we were in the military and they told us, if it doesn't look right, if it doesn't smell right, and it
right.
doesn't act right, it's probably not right. You probably don't want to
That's
do
right.
that. If you
Don't
have to
want
think longer than 2 seconds, if it's a good idea or not to do something, it's probably not a good idea. And so there's so much of this misconception, I feel, that could be taken away from a deal if we had people that looked at it let's put it this way. We would be much better off if people weren't looking at the amount of greenbacks are going to go in their pocket versus
Oh man, that's
the service you're supposed to give to the consumer, right?
absolutely, absolutely. This is why, look, there wasn't much of a problem with accepting a VA home loan pre-COVID a couple years ago. But because you have agents out here that are listing houses and they're telling their sellers, let's list it at 500. I probably can get you 580, knowing that the property will probably appraise for 500, but we're going to try to gouge people out of their pockets.
Yeah.
Oh my, you with a VA buyer that's 100% that can buy this house 100%, be easy breezy. But because we can't go ahead and gouge so much money out of their pockets or try to go ahead and ask them, because you actually got somebody with integrity that wants to go ahead and not have their buyer overpay for a house, all right, or pay more than what the house is worth. They're going ahead and shining away and putting all these misconceptions and all this stuff out about VA buyers. It works on my freaking nerves, man. I mean, it
Yeah,
really
but
do.
it also comes from other places too, right? Like where
Yeah,
I mean, we're both in Texas right now, and we don't live in the city that's probably the hardest to be a real estate agent in the state of Texas, which is Austin, right? So many people
yeah,
are moving to Austin, and a lot of them
Austin,
are
yeah.
coming from California and New York, where real estate is already just by nature costs more money to live there. So they're coming here, and I've heard real estate agents tell me that work in Austin that I mean they get 100 offers on homes, they get homes that the buyer is willing to pay $100,000 over what it's worth because they're paying cash.
And
So
it's
it's
happening,
not
yeah.
just the view on a VA buyer. I think it's like in the marketplace. So many
It's the
people are
market.
trying to get into a home now. It's just prices are great, interest rates are great. And to be honest, they'd rather that privacy, especially with what we've gone through in the last year. It's easier to have privacy in your own home, to walk out into your backyard and not have to walk through a hallway passing people. There's just a lot of reason people are trying to do it.
So, I have a client that I actually have an approval on in California, and he is just not willing to go ahead and say and stick his neck out and pay more for a house. He doesn't want to go. He's afraid, and this is segue. He's afraid. Let's just say if I go and this house is listed for 700, and I end up paying 800 for it, which he is qualified to do in the house. That one house he was looking at can probably appraise for that
Hmm.
because of what's going on out there. He's afraid if he does that, he's afraid that 2, 3, 4 years down the line, the market reverses and he loses value on
Well,
his house.
but by nature, I mean he wouldn't be 100% off on that. But at the
Yeah,
same time, if you paid $800,000 for a house that is only worth $700,000, then you are absolutely right. You're going to, but see, that's
yeah,
where buyers need to also understand that that's why you work with a real estate professional, right? Like work with someone who's got that experience, who knows that area, who knows that market, and when you go to make those offers, they can give you the best possible data to show you why it is or isn't worth that. So much stuff in
yeah.
the marketplace right now. You cannot look at an AVM value. You can't look at even the property tax record anymore to do 25% and add that on to the price of the home. Like you can't do it. There's no way that the market is going too fast. It's just going too fast. You can't keep up with what the marketplace is willing to pay for homes. And
Yeah.
fair enough, if he paid that much, it would adjust out, right? What do we know about real estate? It's either going to stay the same or it's going to increase in value. Hardly
Hmm.
ever does it go down, right?
And here's the thing, man. It's hard to predict the market and what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to talk to him about. I said, yeah, it could possibly well do that. You got a great point. I can just tell you what's trending right now, and it doesn't look like it's trending in that direction. It just
Mm-hmm.
looks like, if anything, it'll stabilize. But I don't think homes are going to lose value
Mm-mm.
because they're selling over value. So if you get a house that someone decides to go ahead and come out of their pocket 100 grand and pay that 800,000. All right, even though the house may be appraised for 700 grand, it's sold for 800 grand. That means that's a viable comp in the area, and it's going to raise the values of the properties within the area. All right. So in order for your the price or the value of your house to go ahead and drop, home sales got to drop. Right now, we don't see that happening. I mean, it's
No.
funny how the real estate market is now affecting the auto industry. All right. I bought a Toyota Corolla, man, from this one dealer.
You probably pay like $80,000 for that thing.
I, I love it, man. So the guy was like, "Hey, man, keep this car, man. Work on your credit. Bringing it up 6 months, which would be 6 months would be right around my birthday, September. Hey, man, come on back to the lot, man. You get anything you want." I'm driving past the lot, and ain't nothing on the lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
no.
they done sold all the cars, and they have a supply problem too.
Yeah, well,
That's what.
yeah, there's a huge problem everywhere. I mean, car lots look like zombie movies right now sometimes. Like there's nothing
Exactly.
there. You know what's crazier than that is you pay more for a used car than you do a brand new car.
That's what I'm saying. So like that's what like on the lot. If I go drive by the lot, they got a bunch of used cars,
And they're
and I
expensive
had
as
a car.
hell.
I had a car that they wouldn't take as a trade in. I sold the car somewhere else, man, and I got $3,000 over what the car was actually worth because they wanted it so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, for sure. So like a lot of people right now are able to take a car that they bought a year ago, right? Normally when you buy a car in a year, the depreciation on that, like you're not really like you're upside down, right? Especially if you want to
Yeah.
get a new car. I had a buddy that told me uh they had a friend go trade in a car to buy a bigger vehicle because they needed one, and this car was like a year old, and they gave him 10 grand more than they paid for it to trade in for a used car,
Mm-hmm.
and then got a kick-ass deal on a brand new car.
Yeah,
Because the
it's
brand new cars you can't keep them, but the used cars, like there's and that's what's crazy is there's a huge need for used cars because that's what you have, that's what's accessible. So you can get parts to fix a used car. You really aren't going to get the new car in because you got to have all the, I don't know,
yeah,
what do they call it, the chips or something like
chips and
electronics.
stuff like
You got to
that.
get Siri working in the car before you can get it over here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
ridiculous, man. It's
That
crazy.
is something, man. I just remember back in the day, and I'm an old guy, man, when we used to have base model cars, bro. You buy sticks, 5 speeds, man. You
Yeah,
had no radio, no air.
dude,
You can buy that first car that I ever bought, man. I bought for $7,500. It was a Nissan Sentra, man,
man,
a
you
19.
paid a lot.
Well, it was kind of nice for that kind of car, but it still didn't have air or nothing like that.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
paid $1,000 for my first
you
car.
can't buy you can't buy no Nissan Sentra today for no $7,500
Oh yeah,
because everything
yeah.
it, they come with Apple CarPlay, all that kind of stuff. Man, it comes in there standard. You paying 25, almost $30,000 for a small Nissan Sentra,
Oh, I
man.
know,
Yeah,
I know. I got a Honda Civic in the driveway. It
yeah.
it wasn't bad though. I paid $1,000 for my first car,
Really? Okay.
and it was a piece of s.
Hey,
Standard.
yeah.
The rims were rusted. Paint was oxidized. I didn't even care, man. I washed the thing like every week. It was like it was my car. Stains in the
And
carpet, dude. This thing looked like a murder scene, bro. I'm telling you. But but it was my car. I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah,
Hey,
everything is
man.
just more expensive. What are you going to do? Like, there's just no way to get away from that at
No,
all.
no, no,
And then,
nah,
like, I wonder, right? Like, how do you employ all those people? Like, you got all these used car. Remember when you used to go to the car lot? You'd walk in, and there'd be like 800 people standing in the front, and you just pulled in. Like, your mom or dad could have worked at the car lot, right?
mhm.
Just got your driver's license. You pull in a car. 3, 4 people are like trying to tackle you, like you're ready to buy a car. What do they do now? Like, could you imagine being the one person that gets out of the car and there's 2 cars on the lot and there's 10 salesmen in the front? You
Yeah,
ever seen
it's,
You've seen Anchorman, right? With Will Ferrell in
I've
it.
seen
Have you
it.
remember the part in the movie where they all jumped around and they had the big news team war? That's gonna be
Yeah.
car salesmen.
Hey, man, it's funny because, like, man, where I just bought my car from, they would be hanging outside. Last time I went over there, man, they ain't even outside. Cause I
Yeah,
mean,
there's no
you're
cars. Why do I need to be outside?
like, I mean, and it's a huge lot.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I'm like, dude, God, because I had told, he said, hey man, you come back. When you come back, we can find you something. Where? What you gonna get? You gonna have to import it from
Here's what's
a
funny. I just got my son a new truck because he decided that in his life it would have been a good idea to grow to be 6'3" and a half after I bought him a car, and he didn't fit it anymore. So we had to
Yeah,
upsize. But here's what happened: we were looking for a car just like you were, and these guys at the dealership are like, "Hey, just give us $1,000 and we'll hold the next car that comes in for you, and you can just write a check. We won't cash it." Like, here you go, just take it. Like, oh, just like that, easy. Here's $1,000. Just call me when one comes in. And they're like,
yeah,
well, when they bring the new cars in onto the lot and they drive the car over, and you've got all the cars on the trailer, you can come pick yours out. I'm like, how many other people you tell that today?
yeah,
Dude got like 20 G's in the desk drawer, waiting for someone to come fight over a car. No, we
yeah,
ain't doing that today.
yeah. Nah,
But I actually got him a good deal. It worked out really well. It was good, man.
that's cool.
But
That's
it's
cool, man.
it is expensive. That is expensive.
Yes, it is. Yep,
It's crazy.
yep. This market today, man.
What are you gonna do though? All good. So let's talk about this future things for you, man. What's on the horizon? What do you got coming up here soon? Is there anything out there that you're working on that um, and it's not going to be immediately to put out there, but in the next couple weeks when people are able to listen to this, that they might be able to come see with you?
Yeah, Temecula, California, man. A buddy of mine, Travis Winfield, man. He's a retired senior chief, man, out there. He owns a brewing company, man, like a big restaurant where mainly he does like beer and pizza and stuff like that. It's a place, man,
I'm
where like if
there.
you want to go,
I'm
yeah,
there.
if you want to go, and definitely you should come out, man. We're gonna do, I'm actually gonna talk to him again a little bit later on today. I'm gonna say, hey man, come learn about the VA home loan over some beer, man.
Yeah,
We're gonna chip in, who don't want to drink free beer, man,
I don't
and
know.
eat free pizza, So we're gonna really work with that guy. He's with us, Century Residential. That brokerage is all military, so they're here to serve the military as well. So, and he approached me, man, like, man, we really need to do some education. So, well, hey, man, you got the restaurant, you got the venue, I got the team. Let's get out there. Let's go ahead and let's teach. Hey, we'll open it up to realtors. We'll open it up to veterans, active duty. Come on out. Temecula is really not too far from San Diego. We'll bring these guys. We'll bring everybody out. Um, we're going to start to advertise that here on social media and get everybody out there, man, to go ahead and it's like kind of a lunch and learn, man. But
For
we
sure.
get everybody out.
So what that means is for all you Navy Chiefs that are out there listening to this
Yeah,
podcast right now in the San Diego area, uh, yes, all of you Chiefs can go try the beer before your junior sailors to make sure that it's safe to consume. But the second part of that is just let everybody know they can go learn how to use this benefit. So, if you're out
absolutely.
there and you're on 32nd Street looking for something to do on a Saturday, there you go.
It's going to be on a Saturday. Hey, and beer is going to be on us. Pizza is going to be on us.
Yeah,
So come on out. We're here to go ahead and educate. You know, the funny thing about the VA home loan benefit, man, is sometimes, man, our veterans, sometimes our active duty don't even think about it, man, until you really start talking about it. Then it'll pop in their mind because at some point they did think about it, man. They wanted to, and then they get so busy, and then they're not educated on it. Then someone is actually giving them a truth about it, and then all of a sudden they want to ask questions, and then this is how the thing and how the process gets
yeah, for
started.
sure.
Um, but we really want to go ahead and my thing is getting into this, man. Is you and I both, man. We've been in the real estate industry for quite a while,
Hmm.
and I remember this. I gotta tell you this here, man. Let me ask you this: um, Did you ever, without PCSing, would just go and ask for advance pay just because you want to buy a house?
Never.
I mean,
I would.
that is
I
not the
wouldn't.
conversation.
Yeah, I wouldn't go ask for advance pay just to purchase a home because
Mhm.
I I never wanted to do that. I was always like, I don't know. I never really thought about it, to be honest. I'd be like, "You're
Yeah.
gonna give me some free money just because I'm going somewhere else? I'll take it."
So I
But I
had
had to pay advance pay back. That's why I didn't want to do
that's what I'm saying.
that.
So had a realtor suggest to a young sailor, I was on this team, suggest to this young sailor that he go and ask his command for advance pay because she was trying to sell him a house.
Yeah, so that's a great idea. Go ask for advance pay. So when we see your next paycheck stub, it shows a loan that you have to pay back. Good job. Way to go.
You just told the story right
Yeah,
there. I'm like,
good job.
you not only did you just put him in debt,
Yeah.
but he
You let
probably went up.
everybody know.
Yeah. So needless to say, he didn't get it.
Yeah.
All right, because the conversation that he had and why he was requesting it went totally wrong for him.
Oh, yeah. That was probably like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on. First off, we're going to have to go sit down real quick. Could you explain to me again what you just asked me? Like, this isn't a hallway conversation. Like, one more
I mean,
time.
you think this shit is just a loan? You think this is just a loan you can just go ask for and we're gonna give it to you because
Again,
you need
think about it. People don't do anything intentionally wrong. They don't try to put you in a bad position just to do it.
it. Hmm.
On one end, I think maybe that agent was like, "What can I do to help this young family get a home?" Right?
She
Yeah.
honestly was trying to help him,
Yeah.
but what she was uneducated
Right.
to
And so then
understand.
it's like, "Oh, what's the fastest way to get money? Oh, you're in the Navy? They got tons of it. Go ask them for it." And so if you can
Yeah,
go get them to give you money, it's good. So she didn't maliciously mean to do it, but it's almost like, "All right, what can I do?" I don't know. I'm trying to think of another example of something that's like, okay, well, I want to go do this. So then the next best thing would be, let me do this thing that ultimately means I'll
hmm
never be able to do that, but it looks like a good idea at the time. And it's just, you're so excited to try to help somebody, you're not thinking straight when you do it.
and honestly, this agent here, sweetest person in the
Yeah, for
world. She
sure.
was just trying to think of a
Yeah,
solution.
she's critically thinking, trying to see how she can help the person get into it.
And someone told him about probably someone told her about advance pay, and I told her I said I wish she would have talked to
So
me
what
first.
were they going to use the advance pay for? For part of the fees
That,
to close the loan?
that and the fact that she got the person into an offer and people were overbidding, and she was trying to get them
Mm.
to get enough money to go and pay extra for the house. I'm like, ain't that much advance pay that you can get.
Yeah, no, there's not. I mean, I got that. Like, I'm with
And
it,
it was a sailor too, man.
which is
The guy.
okay. So let's do this, agents, real estate agents,
Mhm,
do this. If you're trying to find a quick way to help your clients get into a home and you love your veterans,
mhm,
give them 1%. And then let them use that 1% to put it down on the home. Let them use that 1% to get into it. Because we know that agents, sellers can give veterans up to 4% of the loan price to be able
yep.
to help them in any way to get in the home. Love the veteran in that way. Like make the dream a reality. And let's be honest, right? 3%, right?
Yeah.
Home prices in California, 3%. 1% of that is going to help that veteran go a long way. And you're still going to be pretty happy with the two you're getting paid on the
San
back end.
Diego.
And the other
Yeah.
part of that, I'll tell you, is that veteran will not forget what you did for them.
What you
And
just did.
even though
Yeah.
you lost on this one, you're going to gain so much more in the future because you are the person that says, "Hey, I'm here to help. I want to make sure you get into a home. What you and your family can do is important to me." And people don't forget that. Like, the one thing about us is we're loyal and we will help people that have helped us in the past.
Absolutely.
So if more agents
And
would think that way, I think that it would help us. But again, it's green, it has a dollar sign in front of it, and that tends to make people do crazy stuff.
and this is why, man, I love the way I connected with what we're doing and the team that we're on
Yeah.
because I was that realtor out there that wanted to learn more so I can help our brothers and sisters out there in uniform.
Yep.
And this is kind of morphed into something. Someone told me, I had a real close friend of mine, because I was trying to go ahead and reevaluate my real estate career. She said, you might want to this. She said, maybe you want to go ahead and look at what you're doing, and it might be a different direction that you may have to figure out you want to go in order to support what it is that you're trying to do.
Mhm.
And this opportunity came up because one of the things that I want to do, man, is it's we have a lot of realtors, we have even a lot of LOs out there, man, in many different states, that are never really connected to the military, but yet say that they support, they help, and they do this. But this is why David is so passionate about what he
Yeah,
does, and
but
it's like,
you also have to think about it this way. People that say that
yes,
know that if I tell anybody walking around, a real estate agent, a client, a veteran, if I walk in the room and tell you, I love my veterans and I do whatever it is to take care of them. So here's what angers me. We're trusting people.
yes,
And to be honest, we don't need you to tell us that you take care of veterans and you love veterans. We just want to see that you do it. But the fact that you say that you do it
yes,
oftentimes means we're going to come towards you because we feel like you're going to help us. Like if you're going to say that, do it. Don't don't say it just to make money. Do it because it's really what you're going to do. And again, to your point is that's why I'm here. I think that's why you're here.
here, man. That's why we're here
Let's be real. The
because
money the money doesn't really matter, man. Like it's the
no,
mission behind what
no,
we're doing. And so
it's
it's the other part that's
and
pretty big.
and see that's right there, man. You couldn't even say it much better, man. This is why we're here, is because we're that veteran. At that one point, we were in the uniform, and we had someone approach us about anything. Oh yeah, you are military. We want to support and this and that. But why are you really trying to support us? Are you just trying to say, hey, I got a military client, I'm gonna bag this one in my pocket? Or
Mhm.
do you really want to be of service? This is why I say serving those who serve, those who actually, go, that are serving on the ships, those who are on the front lines,
For
man.
sure,
And I
man.
even say serving those who serve, man, those who wear that badge, man, a gun in their badge, and they go out
Oh
every
yeah.
day
Oh yeah.
and driving their car, and they got to worry about coming home every day. Um, it's um, this is why this is why I do what I do. So
No, that's good, man.
and
I think that one part of the step forward to that is realizing that different path that you can take. And the good part of that is that you're gonna, you know, you're gonna host an event for veterans. And let's be real, it's really lucky to be in a place like Temecula down by San Diego so that you can reach out to a lot of people there. The thing that I'll tell you for
yeah,
other people that are listening to this, if you're a real estate agent, you want to help veterans and you want to help educate veterans, well, one, you can reach out to us and we can help you teach a class to them. But if you want to know where to go to teach them, they got reserve centers, they got National Guard bases, they have recruiting stations in your city. Like there's so
right.
many places you could go to talk to people. You just have to do it. And I mean, we do it all. Like we're fortunate. We have a backing. We have a brand that's as old as the country that's backing us to say, hey, it's important to us to go educate veterans, to help veterans. It's so important to us, in fact, that we're not going to charge them fees to originate a loan because we know
Absolutely.
what we can help them with is making the cost to purchase a home a little bit lower than it normally would need to be. And that's why we do what we do. So, I mean, there's just a whole bunch of things that we do well. And that's why, again, like you said, that's why we're here. Going forward into the future, the sky is the limit. There is something to be said about, uh, understanding and being passionate for what you work for. And that's why I like working with our team as well. One thing that I was thinking about while you were talking, though, is when was the only time that you think a VA loan was the loan that people would be willing to accept over any other?
When was the last time?
Uh-huh. In your experience.
In my experience, definitely maybe about 2 years a year, 2 years pre-COVID.
I think it was
Uh,
during COVID.
to be honest with you, I've seen more during COVID. A lot of veterans that are wanting to buy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Real estate agents at the height of COVID, remember when COVID first started and like David talks about it all the time. Hey, we made a phone call 3 days before closing and the guys were like, "Yeah, but 2 days from now he's not going to have a job." So all those deals fell through. Guess who doesn't not have a job? Veterans. So a lot of these people, like it's this that, again, it just keeps proving to us the safest bet you can do. But I was thinking about that when you were talking, like way back in the day, a VA loan was just kind of on par. Like in the beginning of the pandemic, man, like all of the veterans I helped, like it was a welcomed it was a welcomed offer because that agent knew the veteran, that like active duty member, they're
Hmm.
not going to get called next week and go, we're going to have to kind of downsize. I don't think we're going to need you next week.
Yeah,
Right. So it was great. Now people save money and they can spend $1 billion on a $100 home, and VA loans are no good. Like it's just crazy.
yeah,
You love us when you need us. Right.
exactly, man, exactly.
But you know what? Never fear. We always
Yeah.
persevere in the end. So we're gonna make sure that as many veterans as we can get into homes, and you know,
Educate
we
as many
work
as
with
we
the
can.
best agents in the country, and if there's not one thing that I haven't seen already is they will make it happen. So
Absolutely,
for
man.
sure, if
And
you're a
then
veteran looking, if you have any questions, I mean, we're here to help. We're going to go ahead and at the end of this, right at the end when we leave out, we'll link our class to it. If you have any questions about how this works and how to get educated on a loan for your VA benefits, we'll go ahead and link that in the description after, so that you could click on that and register for a class, and we'll teach you for free.
absolutely.
We don't expect you to work with us just because you took our class. That's not what we care about. So and that's a big thing that I like to tell real estate agents. I like to tell veterans, like we're not the only company out there, but we are, I think, the only company that I've seen. So now there's your disclaimer that I've seen, and I don't know everybody, but nobody else is doing what we do.
It's funny. I'll close it out as this way. I actually see some companies are coming up and wanting to go ahead and focus on the VA home loan benefit and everything. I don't know what these companies are. I'm not here to talk bad about other companies or anything. As long as we're in here to service our people, I'm going to tell you this: is that you know I'm not corporate about what I do. When I give you my phone number and you dial that phone number, you're not gonna go get somebody else. You're gonna get Byron Brown.
Mm-hmm.
When Matt Johnson gives you his phone number, you're gonna get Matt Johnson. You're gonna deal directly with us.
That's
All right.
right.
Individuals, me and Matt are cut from the same cloth. We're NCs, Navy counselors from the Navy. So we're cut from the same cloth. And we dealt with servicing people and changing lives. All right. So we're here about education. We care about it. We have a passion for it. So we're here to educate. It's not about I want you to be my client. If I have the pleasure of serving you as and you're my client, that is a blessing to me. But we just want you to be educated, and we just want you to make sure that you know what your benefits are, and and we're just here to help.
Yeah, well said, man. I kind of think I could say it even